My cheating fiancé's friends physically attacked me after I refused to marry her. So I pressed charges and sent them all to jail. I, 28M, am still processing everything that's happened over the past 10 months. What started as a normal engagement ended with 3 people in state prison, 2 on probation, my ex-fiancée facing jail time, and her lawyer boyfriend potentially being disbarred. I need to get this off my chest. My ex-fiancée and I were together for 4 years before I proposed. We met through mutual friends at the sports bar I manage. She worked as a real estate agent and had this tight-knit group of 5 friends from high school. They were all successful professionals, 2 lawyers, a doctor, a finance executive, and a marketing director. Initially, I thought their close friendship was admirable. We moved in together after dating for a year. The apartment was in my name since I had better credit and a longer rental history in the building. Everything seemed stable. She was doing well in real estate, I was advancing in my restaurant management career, and our families got along great. I proposed last December during a weekend trip to the mountains. She said yes, and we started planning an October wedding. That's when subtle changes began. Her friend group became increasingly controlling of our wedding plans, insisting on being involved in every decision. They'd often make condescending remarks about how I wasn't in their professional league because I worked in the service industry. In mid-April, one of my regular customers at the bar, a detective with the local PD, showed me something concerning. He had surveillance photos from an ongoing investigation, unrelated to us, that happened to capture my fiancée entering and leaving an upscale hotel with her ex-boyfriend, now a corporate lawyer, on multiple occasions over 2 months. The detective wasn't officially investigating her, but felt I should know since we were friends. When I confronted her that evening, she initially denied everything. After I mentioned the photos, she broke down and admitted to a 2-month affair. She claimed it was just physical and happened after running into her ex at a real estate networking event in February. She begged me not to cancel the wedding, saying her parents had already paid most deposits and her friends had booked expensive flights and accommodations. I told her the wedding was off and requested she move out within 30 days, as per our state's tenant laws, even though she wasn't on the lease. That's when things escalated quickly. She called her friends, and within an hour, all 5 of them arrived at our apartment. They began verbally attacking me, calling me controlling and abusive. My ex had apparently told them I was threatening to illegally evict her. I remained calm and asked them to leave my property, stating I would call the police if they didn't. Instead of leaving, they started destroying things in my apartment. One of them grabbed a framed photo of my late grandmother and smashed it. I immediately called 911. This enraged 3 of them, the 2 lawyers and the finance executive. One grabbed a kitchen knife, another tried to restrain me, and the third began punching me repeatedly. My detective friend had apparently anticipated trouble after showing me the photos and was already en route when I called 911. The police arrived just as one of them was attempting to stab me. They had to use tasers on 2 of them who refused to comply with police orders. Even as they were being arrested, these women showed no remorse. They kept screaming about how I was ruining their lives and careers. My ex-fiancée stood there crying, begging me not to press charges, insisting her friends were just being protective. The police documented everything, including their threats and my injuries, and took them into custody. The immediate aftermath was intense. I spent 6 hours in the emergency room that night getting treatment for a deep laceration on my right arm requiring 12 stitches, multiple contusions, and facial bruising. The police conducted thorough documentation of my injuries and collected my torn, blood-stained shirt as evidence. A victim advocate from the DA's office met me at the hospital to explain my rights and the legal process ahead. The 3 main attackers spent the weekend in county jail before their arraignment. They were each charged with multiple felonies, assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery, and criminal threatening. The 2 who destroyed property but didn't participate in the physical assault were charged with criminal mischief, a misdemeanor in our state. All 5 were served with temporary restraining orders before release. During the arraignment, my ex's friends shocked everyone by appearing in designer suits with a team of high-powered attorneys, expecting to walk out immediately. Instead, the judge set substantial bail given the violent nature of the attack and their apparent lack of remorse. 3 of them made bail, but had to surrender their passports and wear ankle monitors due to being flight risks because of their financial resources and international business connections. In the following weeks, my ex-fiancée launched a calculated harassment campaign. She filed a retaliatory police report claiming I had been financially and emotionally abusive throughout our relationship. She began showing up at my workplace during peak hours, causing scenes and telling customers I was abusive. After the third incident, my employer's legal team helped me obtain a workplace protection order. Her lawyer boyfriend, believing himself untouchable, started sending threatening emails to both me and my detective friend. He claimed he had friends in the DA's office who would make the charges disappear. Every threat was documented and forwarded to the DA's office and the State Bar Association, triggering an ethics investigation into his conduct. My ex's parents, who had already paid $40,000 in wedding deposits, started harassing my family. They showed up at my parents' house multiple times, demanding they convince me to drop the charges. After the fourth unannounced visit, my father filed for a restraining order, which was granted due to their escalating behavior. Throughout May, my ex and her two friends who weren't in custody orchestrated a social media smear campaign. They posted heavily edited clips from my apartment's security footage, trying to paint me as the aggressor. However, this backfired when my attorney subpoenaed the complete security footage from the building management, which clearly showed them as the aggressors. The DA's office took the case seriously, particularly after discovering the social media tampering attempts. Following the preliminary hearing in June, where the prosecution presented the unedited security footage and medical evidence, they offered plea deals: 24 months in state prison with possibility of parole after 18 months, plus 5 years probation for the three main attackers. The other two were offered 18 months probation and 200 hours of community service. All five initially rejected the plea deals, convinced their status as respected professionals would protect them. Their defense strategy relied heavily on character witnesses and their clean records. However, in late June, everything changed when one of the two friends charged with criminal mischief cracked under the pressure. She came forward through her attorney with evidence that completely changed the case. A group chat showing my ex had orchestrated the entire confrontation. The messages revealed a premeditated plan to provoke me into acting violently while recording it, hoping to justify the affair and gain sympathy from our social circle. They had even discussed ways to make me appear unstable to the police. The pretrial phase lasted from July through October, with multiple motions and hearings. Their defense attorneys tried everything to suppress evidence, particularly the group chat messages and building security footage. The judge denied most motions, ruling that the evidence was properly obtained and admissible. During this time, the State Bar Association's investigation into my ex's lawyer boyfriend intensified. They discovered he had helped her file the false police report about alleged abuse, even drafting it himself, a serious ethical violation. He had also attempted to contact members of the grand jury through mutual acquaintances, leading to additional ethics charges. The prosecution's case grew stronger when forensic analysis of the phones revealed deleted messages showing extensive premeditation. My ex had actually researched similar cases where women claimed self-defense against abusive partners, looking for ways to create a convincing scenario. The messages also showed her friends advising her to wait until after the wedding because she'd get a better settlement if we divorced rather than just breaking up. By September, the DA's office had compiled an airtight case including complete security footage from multiple building cameras, medical documentation of my injuries, the knife with fingerprints and DNA evidence, over 300 pages of text messages showing premeditation, police body cam footage from the arrest, phone records showing the coordination before the attack, documentation of the subsequent harassment campaign, testimony from building staff and neighbors, financial records showing wedding deposits and planned misuse. The trial began in early November. The prosecution's opening statement laid out a clear timeline of premeditated attack and subsequent cover-up attempts. My testimony lasted 2 full days, with their attorneys trying to paint me as controlling and aggressive. However, my calm demeanor and consistent account, backed by extensive evidence, resonated with the jury. The prosecution systematically dismantled their defense. Their claims of protecting a friend from abuse fell apart when confronted with their own messages joking about the planned attack. Their professional reputations actually worked against them, as the jury saw their actions as more egregious given their understanding of legal consequences. The turning point came when their co-conspirator testified. She provided detailed accounts of planning meetings where they discussed ways to provoke me and manipulate evidence. Her testimony revealed how they had chosen my apartment for the confrontation specifically because they knew about the security cameras, planning to edit the footage to support their narrative. My ex's testimony in her friend's defense backfired spectacularly. Under cross-examination, she accidentally admitted to planning the confrontation weeks in advance, contradicting her previous statements to police. She also revealed that her lawyer boyfriend had coached her on how to file the false police report without getting caught. The three main attackers were found guilty on all counts after just 6 hours of jury deliberation. The judge, citing their lack of remorse and abuse of their professional knowledge, sentenced them to 36 months in state prison with no possibility of parole for 24 months, plus 5 years of probation. He specifically noted how their status as legal professionals made their premeditated actions more reprehensible. The two who had accepted plea deals earlier received 18 months probation and 300 hours of community service. The one who testified received a more lenient sentence of 12 months probation, considering her cooperation and genuine remorse. My ex now faced her own legal troubles. Based on evidence revealed during the trial, she was charged with conspiracy, filing false police reports, and perjury. Her real estate license was suspended pending investigation into separate ethical violations discovered during the trial, including evidence that she had helped clients create fraudulent loan applications. Following a series of post-trial motions and appeals in December, all three main attackers began serving their sentences in early January. Their appeals were denied, with the appellate court upholding both the convictions and sentences. Their professional licenses were automatically suspended due to felony convictions. Both lawyers were disbarred, and the finance executive lost her Series 7 and 63 certifications. My ex took a plea deal in mid-December after her own pre-trial hearings revealed the full extent of evidence against her. She received 18 months in county jail with 6 months suspended, plus 3 years of probation. She's required to complete anger management courses and pay $45,000 in restitution covering my medical bills, property damage, and legal fees. The judge also ordered her to undergo psychiatric evaluation and treatment. Her lawyer boyfriend's career imploded spectacularly. The State Bar Association's Ethics Committee found multiple violations, including helping file false police reports, witness tampering, and abuse of his position. He was disbarred in December, and the DA's office is pursuing criminal charges for his role in fabricating evidence and attempting to influence the grand jury. Their civil troubles are mounting. My apartment complex filed lawsuits for damages to the property and reputation. Their former employers are suing for breach of contract and reputational damage. The estimated legal costs for each of them now exceed $200,000, not including the civil judgments they're likely to face. The two who received probation have been quietly serving their community service hours at local animal shelters. Their probation officers report full compliance, and they've maintained their distance as required by the restraining orders. One sent a genuine apology letter through her attorney, acknowledging their role in enabling and participating in my ex's schemes. The friend who testified has been actively working to make amends. She's completed voluntary anger management courses and speaks at legal ethics seminars about the consequences of group misconduct. Her testimony and subsequent cooperation led to several additional investigations into professional misconduct within their social circle. My ex's parents finally stopped their harassment campaign after losing a civil suit I filed for intentional infliction of emotional distress. They paid a $25,000 settlement and issued a formal apology through their attorney. They've since moved to another state, and I've heard they're in family counseling trying to understand how they enabled their daughter's behavior. The corporate office of my bar officially promoted me to regional manager overseeing 5 locations. The investigation into my ex's false complaints actually highlighted my professional handling of the situation. They've implemented my documentation and security protocols across all their locations. My detective friend provided crucial support throughout this ordeal. His early warning and guidance on documenting everything made a significant difference in the legal proceedings. We've become close friends, and he's introduced me to his circle of friends who have helped me rebuild my social life. In January, I moved to a new apartment in a secure building across town. The property management company, aware of my situation through public records, installed additional security features at no cost. I've started seeing a trauma counselor to process everything, which has been helping significantly. I'm sharing this story now because the legal proceedings are finally complete. The appeals have been denied, restitution arrangements are in place, and all restraining orders have been made permanent. My attorney confirmed I can legally share these details as they're now public record. The experience taught me valuable lessons about standing firm in the face of manipulation and gaslighting. When they tried to provoke me into violence, my choice to remain calm and trust the legal system ultimately exposed their true nature. Their attempt to abuse the legal system to attack me ended up destroying their own careers and reputations instead. For anyone facing similar situations, document everything, trust the legal process even when it seems slow, and don't let anyone convince you that protecting yourself makes you the villain. The truth has a way of coming out, even when those trying to hide it have power and resources.